Hi, my name is Angelica, and this is a story of why for every birthday throughout my teenage years, all I wanted was for my period to start. But first, a bit of background about my life. I live with my parents who are both science teachers, and my younger brother Daniel and sister Maggie. We get on okay, most of the time. Daniel is like your typical brother, always making fun of us, super messy and a bit awkward. Maggie is 4 years younger than me, and she is constantly trying to copy the things I do. When I got my ears pierced, aged 12, she begged and begged to get hers done too. So, to my annoyance, my parents relented and let her get hers done when she was 9. I had to wait ages to get mine done. I thought this was really unfair. Whatever clothes I went out and bought, Maggie would try and get similar ones. When I went to secondary school, she threw a tantrum because she wanted to go as well. I know I should have been flattered that she wanted to copy me, but I found it really annoying. She was way too immature right now, and just had to wait until she was old enough to get things. She just had to accept that I would get things first because I was older. That was only fair. Anyway, when I was 9, we had our period chat at school. We all watched a video where a girl was explaining what happened when you started your period. I mentioned that my parents were science teachers. That meant they were really open about periods and had been talking about it for years, but it had always seemed like something that would never really happen to us. Watching the video at school, when they said that some people start age 9 or 10, I realised that this was actually going to happen. All the girls in my class looked horrified, but there was also an undercurrent of excitement. This was surely the biggest sign of maturity, of becoming a woman. Who would be first? Sure enough, a few weeks later, a rumour went around that a girl in our class, Emily, had started her period. My friends and I talked about it a lot. They said they all felt really nervous, but to be honest, I couldn't wait for it to happen. When I was 11, I moved up to secondary school. 2 of my friends got their periods. They would tell me stories of how they found out, going to the toilet and seeing a brownish stain or getting stomach cramps all day. They said that the sanitary towels felt like wearing a baby's nappy. The next week, I got really painful stomach cramps one day. This is it, I thought, excitedly. I was about to become a woman. But it turned out that I just had a sickness bug and had to take a few days off school to stay in bed and mope. When I was 13, we started learning about the menstrual cycle in biology. It made me pretty down in the dumps, to be honest, because I think the teachers assumed that most of the girls in the class had already started theirs, when I still hadn't. I was quite tall and skinny, and my teacher said that it can often start later in people who are thinner. That night I started on a high-calorie diet. My family thought I was mad. I insisted on having second helpings of every meal in an effort to put some more weight on and start my period. To my annoyance, the next day Maggie started having second helpings of her meals too. She is so irritating. My period had to come soon, surely. When I was 14, most of my friends had started theirs. One of them started in class and stayed sat down until the end of the lesson when most people had left, too embarrassed to move, as it had stained her skirt. She looked absolutely mortified having to tell our maths teacher. But at least hers had started, I felt gloomingly. I asked my mum to buy me some sanitary towels and tampons. She looked excited, asking if I'd started. I said no, but I was sure it was coming soon, and I wanted to be prepared. I turned 15. Still no period. Then one day the worst happened. I heard Maggie crying in the bathroom in our house, and she asked me to get my mum. I had no idea what was wrong with her, but I simply asked my mum to come and see her, and waited there. It felt like the 2 of them spent ages in there, so I put my head against the door to eavesdrop. I heard my mum mention periods. My heart dropped. Maggie couldn't have started yet. Surely. She was only 11. She is skinnier than I am. But Maggie had started her period. Despite crying from the initial shock, Maggie strutted around the house over the next few days. I saw her putting all her toys in bags to send to the charity shop. When I asked her what she was doing, she said that she thought she'd grown up a bit too much to need them anymore. My mum decided to throw a party for some reason that I hope isn't Maggie's period, and we had many female members of our family and a few friends over. My aunt gave Maggie some special jewellery as a gift. I wasn't sure what was happening. I was actually mortified that Maggie, aged 11, was being treated like a woman. What did that make me? I tried not to show it though. I didn't want to spoil her day. By the time I was 16, it still hadn't come. It was getting ridiculous now. Maggie had been having periods for over a year, and still delighted in asking me every month if I had started yet. All of my friends had started theirs. Eventually, I decided to fake starting mine, asking one of my friends to go to the school office with me to ask for a tampon. I started wearing sanitary towels in the vague hope that it would make them start quicker. I tried jumping up and down 100 times every night or massaging my tummy to try and get things moving. Eventually, I bugged my mum to take me to the doctors. Something must be wrong. That could be the only explanation. Crazy as it sounds, I was hoping that something was wrong. That it wasn't just me being a late starter, which in my head meant immature. But the doctors said that nothing was wrong, that it was normal to start late. I cried all the way home to my mum, not knowing what to do. What if I was 20 before it started? I tried to imagine going to university and people talking about having periods loads as they'd been having them for years, and me feeling like a fraud. I'm really not sure how I should feel. I am glad that nothing is wrong with me, but I am also worried about when I will get my period, and why I am the last among all the females I know. Please share your advice with me. I'd like to hear from you. What did you think of this video? Do you have any similar experience? Please share it in the comments section below. Remember to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel.